One, two, three, go. Hello, it's Ron back with another video today for Ron's drone channel today. And it's about the the new drone from DJI, the DJI Mavic 3, the latest iteration of the Mavic series from DJI. And this is the one that features the Micro Four Thirds camera sensor in the front of it to get a higher quality of video than we've seen before in consumer cameras. So this video today is just going to be a little bit of a I won't want to say, it's not a rant here. It's just something I think I should make people kind of aware of because it's out there. So just a forewarning here. There's going to be no, beautiful beach video of the drones flying over sunsets or whatever. No, it's me talking this one. So if you came to see beautiful video, I got other videos, I got other ones on the channel that got all that stuff. But what I want to get into is there's been a lot of, or I hate to say a lot of talk, some talk on the internet, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and so on, that the Mavic 3 has some issues with flying away and drifting. And I haven't seen any flyaways. I know it's happened to people. I know Mark Fisher says his has got out of control where he had trouble, on the sticks actually controlling it. I haven't seen that, but I have seen the drifting issue that's been discussed. And I saw it most recently just this weekend on Saturday night. It's down Monday night. And I did see drifting once before on one of my early flights, but I don't think I have it I don't think I was screen recording either time it happened, so I don't have any video to show you on it. But I'm going to talk about the second incident that just happened this past Saturday because it's fresh in my head. So I had the drone up for a few minutes. Everything's going well, no issues. And, I'm hovering maybe about 200 feet up in the air. And I take my hands off the stick to make some kind of adjustments with the RC Pro, so a camera adjustment of some sort. And as I kind of just peek back down the screen again here, behind all the adjustment windows that pop up over top of your FPV feed, I noticed that the camera's like drifting. In this case, I think it was drifting to the right. It's not slowly drifting, not like flying out of control, just slowly drifting to the left a little bit, even though I had hands off the stick at the time. And it wasn't a particularly windy night that night, so I don't think it was like a strong headwind blowing it. And it was going like sideways, your camera pointing forward and almost just like drifting slightly to the side. So as soon as I jumped on the sticks again and started giving it direction where to go, it was fine. I didn't see any other drifting the rest of the flight, but I may have not taken my hands off the stick during the rest of the flight either. So the good news is that, that is the good news that, about it. The bad news is it was drifting. The good news is it didn't drift at all when I had my hands on sticks and it went, flew perfectly. It went, took all my commands exactly how I would have wanted them as far as flying in, any direction, as far as, going vertically, up and down. So, the stick commands were perfect, fine, whatever the words. But when I had that hands off, and the other time I saw the drifting too, it was a hands off situation where I was making some kind of adjustment to the camera settings, and I saw the drift. But this one I remembered well. And just to give you a little background, I took off from a landing pad. And, I used the automatic takeoff. I did not calibrate the compass beforehand or any other calibrations. I calibrated the drone, Mavic 3, when it arrived a couple weeks back. And I haven't calibrated since. It hasn't asked for a calibration either. And I haven't, taken it far away from where I live, where it was first calibrated. So it was no calibration, no takeoff. It took off. It hovered about, 6 feet off the ground. I let it hover there until, it got a whole bunch of satellites. It typically doesn't get, I want to say, a high number of satellites until it actually is off the ground. On the ground, it seems to get them slow. But once you get that 6 feet hover, it pops up to 17, 18, 19 satellites, and you're kind of good to go. So I had plenty of satellites when I really took off, again, besides that 6 foot hover. And but while I was hovering at 6 feet, it was just locked in. It didn't move. No drifting issues at low altitude. So so then at that point I took off, and I didn't see any warnings of any type about compass calibration, magnetic interference. No warnings of any sort during the early part of the flight. This happened I'm going to say a couple minutes into the flight, within the first 5 minutes of the flight. And then, this has a long battery life, so I probably flew another 20 minutes after that and saw no other issues. But I do want to say that, again, for me, I have seen the drifting issue. It is there. It is real. And I guess if you were low to the ground, even low enough to hit a tree, it could be an issue. Both times I've seen it, I've been over open space, open water, over the beach, so it was nothing to drift into, and hit, luckily for me. And when I have had it low to the ground, and I've let it hover, say 6 feet off the ground, quite a bit on takeoff, and even landings, I've had it hover while I'm talking or doing something in a video, and it seems to always be fine. And I even do a trick where, where I kind of bring it back when the battery's getting low, and but instead of bringing it right down, I kind of just hang it in the air, kind of right above me, and still continues to take pictures, especially if I'm at sunset, knowing that even if I do a forced landing, it's basically just right over my head's going to come down and land right where I'm at. So that would be no big deal, even if I would see a forced landing. But in that case, I've never seen drifting either, where I'm just kind of letting it hang up there and taking the last couple pictures of sunset for the sunlight of the evening. So I have no explanations. I don't know if it's anything I'm doing wrong. I mean, again, I don't calibrate before every flight. I don't calibrate any drone before every flight. I don't calibrate the Evo, before every flight, and they don't drift. The Air 2S doesn't drift. The Mini 2 doesn't drift. Kind of basically the drones I'm mostly flying now. So I don't know why this should drift if everything's normal about the drone. So I hopefully this is something that'll get resolved in future firmware updates, or maybe app updates, or a combination of both. Like I said, I know it's not a widespread thing. Not everybody has it, but I mean, it is reports of it out there. So, it is something that needs to be addressed by DJI, because again, anybody that's flying, tree level below or even close to the ground, that could hit trees, cars, even worse, people with this thing drifting away. And I mean, I don't see it drift away quickly. I mean, I've had toy drones in the past where they get a mind of their own. They're flying off, and they seem to automatically kick into super duper sports mode when they're doing this. But this, when I say drift, I see it slowly drifting away. So not that I'm not trying to stick up for it all. It should not happen. Hopefully it's something can be corrected in a future firmware. Hopefully it can be corrected in a small firmware update before they put that massive firmware update that's coming out in January for the Mavic 3, that will add a lot of the features back that we've all been looking for, all the intelligent flight features, panoramic photos, all those goodies that we're used to with our Mavic 2 Pro and our Air 2S. So, but yeah, I'd like to see a couple of bug fix updates for the Mavic 3 even before the big firmware update in January. So I'm not going to ramble on here. This is kind of just a short video. I just wanted to get this out, that drifting is a real issue. I've seen it twice now. It doesn't seem to be, associated with any type of a user error or even weather conditions. It just seems to be the drone just for not locking in solid enough, with the GPS. Like I said, I think I mentioned, I had, when I saw drift in Saturday, I had 18, 19 satellites at the time. So I had plenty of satellites locked in. So, yeah, I don't know. So if you've had this problem too, let me know down in the comments. You know what you've seen drifting on yours. Again, if it's happened, and what do you think the reason was, and hopefully you didn't have any bad outcome of this drifting. But just leave it down below, and I'll try to get back to you. And not that I have any answers on this either. Just something to be aware of. When you're out flying, just you never want to take your eyes off the drone, again, I'm kind of, when you're playing with your settings, you're kind of doing that thing where you're looking up your eye, looking down, you're looking up your eye at it, but when you have it, even a couple 100 feet away from you, you kind of don't notice a slow drift just by, line of sight, because it's a couple 100 feet up, it's a couple 100 feet away. If it's drifting at some slow rate of speed, you don't really see it so much with your eye, but when you see it on the controller, when you look down, and you can see the slight movement. So it's just something to be aware of, and and keep an eye out, and hopefully it gets fixed in the near future. So that's about it from Ron's Mavic 3 station now here. I do a lot of Mavic 3 videos now. It's like on the Mavic 3 channel now. So don't forget, if you want to see content about the Mavic 3 and other DJI drones such as the Air 2S, the Mini 2, I'm covering all the current DJI drones in the consumer line now, and I do a live coverage on the Evo 2 Pro as well. So go ahead and subscribe, hit the ring notification bell so you know when I put a new video up. And if you like this video, got something out of it, give me that old thumbs up, and we will see you in the next one, folks. Goodbye.